So, what does being rich actually look like? Seriously. If you're picturing supercars and designer clothes, you might be in for a surprise. We're about to pull back the curtain on the quiet, almost invisible signs that you are building real, lasting wealth, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. See, the people who are truly getting ahead, they're often way too busy doing the right things. Saving, investing, building, to even notice how far they've come. Their journey isn't loud or flashy. It's just a whole series of smart, deliberate choices they make when nobody's watching. If you've ever found yourself wondering, are all these little sacrifices even paying off? Well, this is for you. We're going to break down the 8 subtle signals that show you're on a path that most people, honestly, never even find. Okay, first things first, let's just get one thing straight. That highlight reel you scroll through online, the endless vacations, the shopping sprees, that isn't wealth building. No, that's wealth spending. The actual journey, the real work, is so much less glamorous, and it happens completely off camera. That's right, it's kind of boring. There's no confetti cannon, no jackpot alert that goes off on your phone. Most of the time, building wealth feels, well, pretty uneventful. It's choosing to skip an impulse buy. It's setting up that automatic transfer to your investment account and just letting it run. It's the boring choice today that sets your future self completely free. All right, let's dive into the first set of signs. These are the concrete foundational habits that really create the bedrock of your financial strength. The very first sign is that you consistently live below your means. And look, this isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself. It's about being intentional. It means you've purposely created a gap between what you earn and what you spend. You're not trying to impress anyone. And let me tell you, that is a financial superpower. Okay, just take a look at this. We've got Richard and Peter. They both earn a solid $75,000 a year. But Richard, he only spends $55,000, which creates this amazing $20,000 margin. Now, that margin isn't just money. It's options, it's peace of mind, it's freedom. Peter, on the other hand, spends $80,000. He might look successful, but he feels broke because his lifestyle eats up every single dollar and then some. And that gap you create is what fuels sign number 2. You're thinking in long-term gains, not short-term wins. While so many people are chasing the hot stock tip or the next get-rich-quick scheme, you've totally shifted your focus. You're playing the long game now, thinking in decades, not days. You get that real wealth comes from the slow, steady magic of compound growth, not some overnight success story. And the results? They're absolutely staggering. After 20 years, Richard's boring, consistent $500 a month investment grows to $350,000. Peter, who was jumping from one hot tip to the next, ends up with just a tiny fraction of that. Patience and consistency, they win. Every single time. Sign number 3. You've built yourself a financial buffer. This means you are no longer living paycheck to paycheck. You've quietly built something incredibly powerful, breathing room. It's just cash sitting in an account that you don't need to touch, and it's a tool that buys you time and options when life inevitably throws you a curveball. I mean, think about this for a second. If you have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses just saved up in cash, you are already wealthier than 75% of Americans. That is not a small achievement. It is a massive step toward true financial security. This buffer is what turns a potential crisis, like, say, a job loss or a sudden car repair, into just a manageable inconvenience. You don't have to panic. You don't have to go into debt. You just calmly handle it, and you move on. That is a form of wealth that most people will never, ever experience. Our fourth sign might just be the most powerful of them all. You have what we call lifestyle inflation immunity. This means when you get a raise, your spending doesn't automatically rise right up to meet it. You've become immune to that constant urge to upgrade your life every time you get a little more money. Here's exactly how this immunity builds wealth. When Richard gets that raise, his very first thought is, awesome! How much more can I invest? That extra income goes straight to work for him. Peter's raise, though, it gets immediately swallowed by a bigger apartment and a new car payment. He's still running on a treadmill, it's just a more expensive one now. Okay, so we've covered the numbers, the tangible stuff. Now let's talk about the mindset. These next 4 signs are less about what's in your bank account and way more about your relationship with money itself. This brings us to sign number 5, and it's a huge internal shift. You've just stopped comparing yourself to other people. You've had that aha moment where you realize that most of the wealth you see on display is really just well-marketed debt. You stop measuring your progress against someone else's highlight reel, and you focus entirely on your own game plan. Think about this scenario. A friend buys a brand new truck. Richard's reaction is simply, "Hey, good for him. Hope that makes him happy." He feels zero envy because he is totally secure in his own choices. Peter, however, feels that pressure. He immediately thinks, "Man, I need to upgrade too," and goes out and adds a ton of unnecessary financial stress to his life. Sign number 6 is that money just isn't the main topic of conversation anymore. When you're struggling, money dominates every single thought. But as you build wealth, you create these systems, automation, automatic bill pay, that handle the basics for you. And this creates the ultimate luxury, the freedom to not have to think about money all the time. It stops being the main character in your life story and just becomes simple background noise. And that leads us right into our 7th sign, which really comes down to a critical question. As you get more financially secure, which do you start to value more, money or time? You see, the truly wealthy understand that money is a renewable resource, but time is not. Richard uses his money as a tool to buy back his most precious asset, his time. Peter, on the other hand, is always trading his time to save a little bit of money, which leaves him constantly busy but totally exhausted. And our 8th and final sign is this monumental mindset shift. You practice full financial ownership. You stop blaming the economy or your boss, and you start focusing only on what you can actually control. The phrase, "I can't afford that," gets replaced with, "You know what? That's just not a priority for me right now." So, as we've seen, getting rich, it isn't really about hitting some specific number in your bank account. Not at all. It's about what that money provides you. Freedom, peace of mind, and options. It's those disciplined, often really uneventful financial habits that unlock a life where you actually have the freedom to pursue what truly excites you. In the end, it's the quiet work that builds the loud life. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Because if you're making those quiet, boring choices, you're not just getting by. You're secretly getting rich. And that is exactly how it's supposed to be.